10,000 followers and only 2 people are commenting on your posts. Diabolical. And like an influencer voice, you know.
An influencer.
The last time I worked with such and such was like a year ago. It's because when you worked with such and such,
you ended up on the list.
I think short form content is the craziest content. Like, it's so dope.
It's so dope. Welcome back. Welcome back to Creator Conversations. It's your girl, Miss Rose, the influencer sister. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Akiri, we need subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you for the love on IG. Thank you for the love on TikTok. You guys have been absolutely amazing. You have been loving the episode, the other masterclass. I love the questions. Keep them coming. Hopefully we're going to do another one. Don't forget, we are still giving away 1,000 Rand cash. Mara subscribers first, cash after. So the sooner the subscribers, the sooner we can give away. Otherwise, we are going to jump right into it. Today, I'm not riding solo. I have a friend today. Yo, last week, lonely cameraman rebonda so strong. Shame. We were just together. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, introduce yourself to the people because I know you. So introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, I'm going to look into my camera for this. Hi, everyone. Dumelang bagolo, Lina Lakake Afrika. For all of the people who don't know me, my name is Afrika. And yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy.
And I'm happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for coming.
Always.
We are looking forward to learning so much from you. Fun fact, I want to say I stepped into her shoes because we did the job at the same time.
Yeah.
And then she kind of moved on to like boss things, right? And then so soon. So for the most part, like she's really also the person, like I said to you, expert on expert on expert on expert.
Exactly.
So she really has been there. She was there a long time ago at Repfluential.
Yeah.
And so it's been quite
like
a
5
journey.
years ago. 6 years ago, I think.
That's insane to me. That's absolutely crazy
Time.
to me. Time is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump right into it.
Cool.
Tell us how you basically started in the influence. I mean, I mentioned now how you started, but how did you start in the influencer marketing space and how the industry has grown or changed from when it started?
That's so crazy. Firstly, it wasn't even my intention to get into the space, which is diabolical.
Crazy.
But I started at Webfluential. Webfluential was my first time doing influencer marketing.
Yeah.
I was in varsity still, so it was my first job.
Oh my God, how could I forget?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was still in varsity, and it was my second job. And yeah, I got into marketing because I thought, okay, maybe I might be really good at it. I love to talk.
Yeah.
So I thought marketing was that at the time because I didn't know, right?
Yeah, like what else there is other than marketing.
Right? I didn't know if it was like going to be more technical or anything. But so I got into Webfluential first. And it's been quite interesting over the years to see what influencer marketing has become. Over the last few years, we've had a few transitions from just, when it was those few influencers, the few YouTubers we knew,
it was just a handful of people. Yeah.
And now it's become such a huge billion-dollar market.
Yeah.
So it's been quite interesting also for career progression-wise, what that means for one who started a long time ago. Right. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. So that's how I got into it. I really never did plan to. I studied politics, as you know.
Yeah. It was the strangest thing. Every time people were like, oh, really? What are you studying? It's like,
I know.
Does she know what we do here?
So yeah, it's been quite interesting over the years.
Yeah. And how do you think, because of how much it's changed, would you say that creators have, other than the number of creators, do you think that creators just have grown in general? Because as we said, it was just a handful of people. We literally 100%. Had just a small pool. You just always used to know who to call. But now there's just like pages and pages of creators.
It has grown. Like I said, it's been a burst of people.
Yeah.
I think also the shift from just normal out-of-home advertising to digital. Not that there isn't any out-of-home anymore, but the digital focus over the years has made the market grow even more. So people look at it as a career, being an influencer, rather than just something like, a trade exchange. Or back in the day, it was like a few people who were doing influencer marketing, but it wasn't their main gig.
Right.
Right.
People were still doing it while working.
But now people can make full-time careers out of it, which I find is it's quite pretty cool.
It is quite cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about now from being a collaborator and just being in that space to like getting to know brands and agencies. How do you think now you view the industry, as much as it's grown, but like how do you view it from the first time, understanding what influencer marketing is? I remember we always used to sit in those knowledge sharing sessions. We'd be like, this is so damn cool.
It is
because it was just like, you guys are really just gonna turn this whole thing like on its head with just like a few people and seeing the content. What do you do now? And like, so how would you compare and just like the stuff that you've learned over the years?
So I think for me, something that I've learned over the years is that there are ways in which brand communicates differently now because of the influencer landscape, right? So brands are more conscious of making sure that they're including more of their audiences. And I think that's what that's what the shift has been focused on.
Right.
It's that brands are more conscious that they can tap into niche audiences now through different influences, which wasn't really a thing back in the day. It was more so just brands focusing on this is what we want to say and this is how we're going to say it. But now, because we have influencers that are from different landscapes, backgrounds, who specialize in different things, brands can tap into different voices, right? So I think that's been
and so they can
shift.
access sort of like different markets and audience.
100%. But also double-edged sword, right? Because some brands are quite old school.
Of course.
And they don't
There'll
want
always
to.
be those.
Yeah. There's corporate, we love you guys, but
But we watching you.
We're watching you, corporate.
Hey, Luna.
But it's been interesting to observe the brands that are open to moving with the times versus the ones who are stuck on sounding the same without using the influencer landscape to what it could be. So there's that.
So how has campaign management changed the way you view influencers and the influencer marketing strategy approach?
I think in campaign management, you start to realize that it's not just what you see on the other side as a consumer. I think being a campaign manager shows you what it looks like from the perspective of being a business. So it's not just someone posting something. It's what do they have to say? What is the intention behind the post? What is brand trying to say through them? Can the influencer articulate what the brand is trying to not only just sell, but what they're trying to communicate to their people?
So does it resonate with the creator and also their audience?
100%. So on a campaign management perspective, you get to see that metrics are so important. Like, getting metrics, Buffett.
And I hope you are listening. Every time I keep telling everybody, they're like, oh no, I've got 10,000 followers. I'm like, okay, what's your engagement rate? Where is your audience?
And I'd like to just touch on that one. Please, guys, engagement rate. 10,000 followers and only 2 people are commenting on your posts. Diabolical.
Kiri, what did I say? I wish I could say to the editor, pause here and insert me saying, engage with your audience. So focus a lot on engagement. Focus a lot on engagement and make sure that the content that you are creating still continues to resonate with the content that you've been creating, and it resonates with your audience, even if your following is small. Focus on your niche. Don't try to do a lot just because you're trying to get following or just because you're trying to get noticed by brand. Really, really focus on engagement. Focus on the valuable things that will make sure that the brand does notice you. Because remember, brands see a lot of influencers, so they'll notice you if your content is valuable and if your engagement does that. And remember the last time we spoke about research, making sure that you audit yourself every now and then so that you can understand if your engagement is high or your engagement is low, or if people are actually responding to the content that you post. So focus on those valuable insights. Those are the ones that are going to help you direct how you should kind of continue with your content and get brands to notice you. I hope that helps. I think it's been such an important thing, and we've said an important thing now in terms of campaign management is that, you know, before you were just worried about how many people are going to see it and, you know, or how many followers or whatever it is. But now it's a more authentic, it's more relationship.
Yeah.
So you really have to like tap in and touch deep into it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. But just to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's that I think influencers aren't, or not even just influencers, or people who want to be in the space, unconscious of the fact that it's not just posting.
No.
That's the last of your concern, actually.
I said it on the other side. I said posting kiss step 4.
Kiss step 4.
Of 10.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, we need to talk about what exactly are you communicating?
Yeah.
Right? Does your brand communicate something for you to even be somebody that a brand wants to work with? Are you that person? Can you communicate brand ideas and identities, right?
Yeah.
And I think that creators need to be more conscious of that.
Yeah,
100%.
That's so important. Have you ever had a campaign not go as planned? And and what did you learn from it? Both you, the brand, the agency, the creator, what do you think were the really important takeaways from that?
Oh, yeah, I've had a few not go my way.
Girl.
You know, this life thing, you know, sometimes when it ebbs, and when it flows, it flows.
For real.
So, I've had a campaign or two where or let me say this rather, the brand wanted something that I felt like wasn't going to relate to audiences.
Okay.
So just for context, I was working with an alcohol brand.
Right.
And it was during COVID.
Right.
And they wanted the campaign to be a virtual dinner, but it was during COVID.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't think that was going to relate well to audiences. Okay. Firstly, I felt like it was a little bit, that's how I won't say the name.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a little bit tone deaf because during COVID, really, I didn't think that that's what people wanted to hear.
At that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially from that type of brand. Yes.
Got you.
So yeah, it did go off, but I think what I learned from that campaign was that sometimes when a brand doesn't listen to strat, on the creator side of things, it's at the detriment of brand. So it's both ways, right? So there are influencers who need to listen to brand, but brand also needs to listen to agency or creators and be like, look, this is the feedback that we're coming back with. I don't think the creators want to create it in this way. Yeah. Just a little bit more creative freedom. So I've learned that when a campaign doesn't go my way, for that example, I just kind of sort of look at the results and see, okay, what could we have done differently from the perspective of the agency? Yeah. Can we talk to brand and say, listen, this is what we think is going to work. This is what we think is not going to work. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of sort of where
What are some of the things that you think can really be helpful in helping a brand understand, from a campaign management perspective in terms of where do we find the balance between Rona, the brand, and the creator? What are some of the things that you think brand can really, really take away from those kind of things? And you've mentioned, one of them is obviously kind of really leaning into listening to, what Strat has to say. Yeah. Yeah.
I think as a brand, if you're going to hire an agency or get creators, whether you're doing internal or externally, you have to trust that you're hiring experts. Yeah. Right. So if you're getting an agency to come in to help you with your strat, to help you with the vision of what you're trying to communicate, you must understand that we have years of campaign experience, right, which means we know what will work and what won't work. Yeah. And I think campaign managers are more tapped into the culture than people would think. Yeah. Because we're on social media. Yeah. When we live there. We live on social. Yeah. So it would be good to listen to people that you have trusted with this project, like the campaign managers. I have a colleague who likes to say, listen to the interns, bro. Like the interns are where the culture's at, right?
For real.
So and I hate to say it, but a lot of brands don't really consider that they're not that tapped in. Yeah. Right. So that's why you hire people to come in and try to help you to implement things that are culturally relevant. Yeah. So it's just that I think brands just need to be conscious of who they're giving the authority to speak on behalf of them. So we're finding the influencers, we're creating the strat, we're putting the campaign together. Surely we must know what would work for your brand, because we're the specialists in this thing,
in
right?
that field.
So I think it's just a trust. It's a trust relationship.
I love what I really, really love what you've just said. But I think there is an opportunity, if I could just play devil's advocate for just a moment, from being from the other generation and all. This is always our conversation, because she was always the younger one, and we were like, oh my gosh. But I hear on listening to the interns, but I also feel it's very important that even the interns, they can have a lot to learn.
100%.
Because remember, the shift from traditional marketing to influencer marketing is really quite hectic.
It is.
But there's so much to learn that you can transfer from that industry into this industry, where they just kind of find middle ground, a little dance floor nyana, where they can just mix the dances. It doesn't always have to be the new dances. We can't do those new dances, kaofela. Kenya to alatsa hanyani. You understand? Kenya kwasa, because it also kind of goes. But you know what I mean? So I think there's just an opportunity with this. Me talking about the kwasa and the twalasa just made me realize now everybody's going to guess my age. But otherwise, living now that we've spoken about content and being tapped into the culture, let's talk about content. And you maybe picking influencers, or for brands, or putting them forward. What stands out when it comes to content to you when you are picking creators or when you are reviewing submissions?
Authenticity. And I know it sounds like everybody says
authenticity. That's the first thing that brands look for. They want to know if a person is being real or if a person is being a paid actor. Hi guys, so you won't believe the cooking oil that I bought today. So sometimes things are just way too obvious and they're way not authentic. And a lot of people think that they're going to get brands' attention by doing that stuff, but brands are not really, really into that anymore. So authenticity is key. Relatability as well. The minute, brands can feel your relatability to your audience, they can see it in your comments, they can see it in your engagement, how you respond to people, how you talk to people, and just how you carry yourself. Brands can really, really be drawn to that a lot.
And this is a problem I come across a lot. Like I'm privy to have at least worked on different types of influences across not even South Africa, but Africa and the globe, right? So I've seen the culture of social media influences outside of South Africa. And I'm a bit concerned, because the chat is that people look the same, they sound the same. Everybody does their makeup the same way, like the same.
Me really the same.
Me really the same. And I understand, because it's consumerism, it's technology, and it's social media. It's just the reality of the world that we're in right now. But the more authentic you are, the more I, as a campaign manager, am attracted to you, because I'm like, oh, you don't look like everyone else. Oh, you have something different to say. Yeah, so I will definitely pick you, because you're not fitting the spec, quote unquote, of what an influencer sounds like. And like an influencer voice, you know. Hello guys, Get all sharp. All of you sound like that? That's a lie.
Everybody,
that's a lie.
Everybody.
I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Come on, be for real.
And I understand why, because there is an era of influencers like post or let me say, Buma 2016 to 2019, 2020, who sounded like that. But that's because that's what they sounded like. You know, Mihlali sounds like Mihlali because it's Mihlali.
I was about to say, it's the chat that we have where everybody thinks, hello, darling. Ladies and gentlemen. That's how she sounds. Bonang speaks like that. So, I mean, there's a way to find a way to sound similar or to deliver it similarly, but that's how she sounds. So we can't all want to be presented and sound 100%. Like that.
And it's okay to be inspired. I get it. Inspired by. But don't now make it your whole persona. And I find that it's popular in the lifestyle space, in the beauty space, that there is a spec. It's like they chose the one influencer to sound like.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think
these days, Dumelang, guys. Hi guys. Welcome to This Is Just a Day. Kitlole Shapa, that's not how you speak. Ngizonishaya. Ngizonishaya. Kitlole Shapa.
Yeah, I think it's that. It's the authenticity. That's what stands out for me. People who sound like themselves, you can pick out when somebody sounds like themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what jumps out at me. So I have a lot of influencers asking me, why don't you use me on this campaign?
Yeah.
Why don't you use me on this campaign? And I'm like, but you sound like X,
like
Y, and Z.
Mang. And neresa batli yena.
Ke ne batla wena. You know, so
Yeah.
I think I'm more inclined to picking people who sound like themselves, who are comfortable with themselves. I think this is just my politics rather. I think people are not comfortable with themselves anymore, and I think it resonates in the influencer space.
Yeah.
Right? Just be comfortable with yourself. It's okay to sound a certain way. It's okay to look a certain way. I like influencers that aren't fitting the narrative.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that a lot, and I think it's also a good opportunity for brands to also learn to try and listen to different voices.
Yeah.
Because I find that it's not necessarily everyone's fault that they sounded like that. It's because they started to see that those ones that sound like that are getting picked more often.
Yeah, that's so real.
Yeah. So now you end up just thinking, okay, if that's what they want, then that's what I'll
Let me
do.
do that.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, everybody's doing the same thing, the same kind of. And I find that you really, like I said to you before, or, to everyone, is that keep auditing yourself. You'll be able to kind of check to say, okay, this is how I really translate things. This is how I speak to people. This is how I communicate. And that's what really will always kind of resonate. And that's what we will always come back to.
100%.
Resonance, and that's what we will always come back to, authenticity. If you're finding a very special way in, including brands in your life, authentically speaking and sounding, we will come and find you. And it's not like before, like you're saying, because I think before, like I'm saying, that everybody got stuck into that because they knew that there were only 3 people that are going to get booked. Why?
100%.
So so that we can also kind of get in. But it's not like that anymore. Find your voice, find yourself in that space, and we'll see you.
100%.
We will see you.
100%.
With that said, though, a lot of people are constantly after long-term partnerships and long-term ambassadorships, and people don't necessarily want to always do one gig, 100 rand at a time. They want, what is the one red flag that you look for, or that you see, or that jumps up at you when you are assessing a creator, for example, for a long-term partnership?
Yeah, no, I think we already covered it. For me, it's genuinely like engage with your people, bro. Like, you guys don't talk to your people.
No.
And I think as an influencer, and this is, I don't know if this is an essay or if it's global, but there is a difference between celebs and influencers.
Yeah.
And a lot of influencers behave like celebs to the people that follow them.
Hello?
Like, those are the people that are helping you make your bag. I need you to recognize that.
Hello.
And you need to talk to them because they're people.
Anybody home.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think that's the for me, if I'm going to be assessing someone for a long-term partnership, it's that. Do they talk to the people that are helping them build their brand?
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. As when I say celeb, I'm so sorry. Hate to break it to you.
That one thing's for sure, utloba sharp.
Like, and utloba sharp. And look, and even if you do become a celebrity, maintain your people skills. Like, I think that whatever industry you're in, if you don't recognize that people are the ones who are helping you build the platform, then you might be in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
Right? Because influencer marketing is exactly that.
Yeah.
You're influencing who?
You've come to influence.
So you need to talk to people.
Yeah.
You actually need to be sociable. So it's that I look at that. So it's a red flag for me if you're not talking to people. Like if you're not engaging with the people who are engaging with you, because people are using their time to communicate with you. Right? And I'm not just talking from the perspective of a campaign manager, but as a consumer.
Yeah.
If I'm taking my time to comment on someone's post, I'm not saying go and comment to respond to every single one.
Reasonable. I get common sense and stuff.
Yes, common sense. Mara wa ba itse.
Screen recording.
Afrika 1, 2, 3.
We're just saying, because also I think sometimes the culture then comes in is that we know, if you go to a celeb's post or whatever, or a mega in this instance. If you go to their post, you're going to see the friends that are commenting and that they respond to are other blue ticks.
100%.
And sometimes it's valid because Kirichom is a high. Yes or no?
Yes, but also hire a community manager.
Giza sometimes. Giza sometimes. She's for the people.
I'm for the people.
But what I'm saying is that keep that in mind as well, because I'm also seeing that as a trend where influencers are responding to other influencers, right? It's fine that you have friends and we're keeping that in mind because, especially when it comes to TikTok, that community is close-knit. Those people be having their own life. They are in their own planet. I love to see it.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes there is an opportunity to engage because now that your 5.6 engagement rate is not going to come back from responding to your one friend. It's
100%.
not. It's going to come from you responding to Afrika's post, that guy's post, his post, her post. It's going to come from you also responding on their content also, because the algorithm is also listening to what you do. If you just come in like what's am I at that?
And also just guys, it's a business.
If that's what you want to do.
It's a business. Yeah. Like I think people go into the influencer space thinking it's quick money, like they can just, but fine, it works for some people, but if you're looking for longevity, and I guess this is what these conversations are about. Yeah. If you're looking for longevity in the space, it's a business. So you need to treat it as such. And as a part of your business, you need to talk to the people that's engagement, right? Yeah. You need to talk to the people that are helping you build your business. So I think it's that people need to treat it like a business if you want to make it last. Yeah. It is a business. Take it seriously. Yeah. It's not just who post boards on social media. No, you need to talk to people. You need to, it's just part of the gig.
For sure. And what you said actually just answered kind of like the next question that I was going to ask in terms of how do we help creators scale their content creation to go from being just, once-off campaigns or, trade exchange only campaigns all the way up to, the long-term campaigns and even into business and partnerships and seeing themselves as a brand.
Look, what do you invest in your art form? I know people look at it as though it's just posting because everybody has the capacity to post. Yeah. But I look at it as an art form. It takes a lot to create content. Yeah. Right? And I don't think people realize how much it takes to create content. So from that perspective, what are you investing into your content? I think that's how you scale your journey as an influencer, as a creator. What are you willing to put into it? Yeah. People want to just get. Yeah. I'm not getting followers. I'm not getting what... But what are you putting into it? What does your background look like? Yeah. Have you invested the time into saying, okay, maybe if you don't have a background, sharp, somewhere, like there's trees outside,
Listen to me. I know she's probably watched the episodes, right? But I said this. I said it. I said you don't need lighting.
You don't.
You need to wipe your camera, as Bobby says, first of all. Wipe the camera. Stand in the sun. The sun is literally there for us. Natural lighting will slay each and every time.
I think it's not... people just have excuses.
They do.
People have excuses. Like, it's either you want it or you don't. And it's simple. And that's with everything in life. Yeah. Right? So if you're going to take content creation or influencer marketing seriously, just Google. Bro. Like, it's the easiest time to be an influencer in this world. Because
right now,
you literally have not only Google, but you have AI.
You have AI.
So you can literally go ask ChatGPT.
Chat. And say chat. Caption, so.
You understand?
Our first strategy like this.
Strategy, you have the strat, you can ask questions. If you feel like you don't know where to start,
don't understand.
Use AI. And also that's where the world is headed. I'd really implore all creators to actually go into the AI generation. Like it's not just ChatGPT, there's a lot you can use. Yeah. So it's that. It's what are you investing into your craft? And now I can tell if a creator is serious or not. Yeah. Like, look, and I'm a creator too, so I know what I'm going to say is going to be like counter, but be consistent.
I knew. One thing about us, we will phone you morning to night. House of posting. What happened? You forgot. Mara, go on my Go on my things.
Yeah, go on my things. So, like, I know what I'm saying, right, is relevant, but again,
do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah, don't do what I'm doing. Do what I'm saying.
Post that.
Do you understand? But for me, it's just that. It's that if you're looking at it, pardon me, from that perspective, is that without the consistency, I don't know what you're aiming to get.
What's your plan?
Like, what's your plan? And that's if now utlogetse your job, you've left your job, okay? Because I see that's a trend. So if you've left your job to be a full-time content creator, I need you to be so for real about understanding the algorithm at least. Of whatever platform you want to grow on, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whatever. Understand the platform. If you're going to leave everything and say this is what you're doing, at least post consistently.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to leave your job or post a Haiwan and think that's the chat. It's not going to happen.
Consistency builds visibility. So don't post today, post tomorrow. I'm talking to myself also. Post today, post next week, post 2 weeks from now. Just keep at it because you're trying to build engagement. So just keep going. Hello.
Dreaming.
Guys, I think it's such an important thing. And I was saying this and I keep preaching this, is that it's research. Am I really ready for leaving my job? Am I really ready for that full-time commitment? Because now when you leave, you need to know that that's what you're doing every day. You can't be tired.
Yes.
There's no day off. There's no day off.
You can't.
Content every day, responding every day, strategies every day, content planning every single day. Yeah. So you have to be so for real. And that's the one thing that sometimes people don't take into consideration once they get into these long-term partnerships. They don't take into consideration all the amount that's now required.
When are you
think, hello, when are you thinking, okay, you signed a 12-month contract, boom, and now you think we're not going to chase you. You signed a contract that says you're going to post twice a week or whatever. If you don't post, you're out.
Yeah. And I think people aren't honest with themselves. Like, leaving your job to focus on any passion, any career that you're trying to make lucrative means you're going to be working 3 times harder, 10 times harder than you were working at your 9 to 5.
For sure.
Because now you're an entrepreneur, sweetie. So invoicing,
trigger warning, entrepreneurship
and content creation, your entrepreneurship.
Hello?
And I think people aren't honest about that. You're going to need to spend the time. The 10,000 hours theory isn't just for artists, musicians, and all of that. It's for whatever life form art form rather that you're trying to portray in this life. So I guess it's that you need to know that it's a full-time job. And also, once you sign the contract, sweetie, you need to post the content.
Please.
Every time we must chase influencers for content, please. You sign the contract. Now we must remind you to post.
And it's really making sure, are you taking yourself seriously?
Yeah.
Are you taking the brand seriously? Are you taking your future in the campaign and the content creation space seriously? Because now we're a creator economy. So we're not just it's not just the influencer marketing space, the influencer marketing industry.
Yeah.
No. We're a creator economy now.
100%.
So now there's so many things that are involved. So you can imagine how many people you hold back by not posting, not responding, not answering the phone, not editing, not...
And again, I don't think influencers know that there are blacklists, you know. There are blacklists.
Because obviously this is a repeat of last week. We spoke about this, so I had Janae on.
Oh, fantastic.
So I had Janae, and we were explaining to everybody that there is a red list.
Yes.
And a grey list.
Yes.
And the one and the only.
The blacklist.
The blacklist.
So if you're going to do that and you've signed a long-term contract, even if it's a once-off, and you're not reliable with when the brand is asking for the content to be posted, we're going to list you. And then some influencers even come back and say, oh, but the last time I worked with such and such was like a year ago. It's because when you worked with such and such,
you ended up on the list.
You ended up on the list because you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Hello. And it can be such a lot of things that can be avoided.
Yeah.
Communication on time.
Facts.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty is so key. Hey, I said I have a car, but I actually don't have a car.
Crazy.
I once booked a creator on a car campaign, and we were, we did the briefing sessions. We did the briefing sessions, and it was amazing. And the next step was obviously to go to the brand so that we can have the session there with the brand and the orientation if you must. Sharp, no problem. Okay, Skala Lebala, to bring your license. Pardon? No, Oscar, pardon. Don't forget to bring your driver's license.
No, please tell me you're joking. I would be so annoyed.
And I'm saying this because there was another creator who just honestly, like when I reached out, she was like, this would be amazing, but I'm still working on my license. And I was like, love it. When we have a passenger campaign, because no, briefing, signing, terms and conditions, I do. Utlele license. No.
Oh no.
No, but I think my husband can drive. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
No. Rose will drive. No. Rose can't drive. Are you okay?
What? This is a car campaign.
Hello.
You know what? And I think it happens more often than not. Sorry to interject,
no, it's
right?
okay.
It happens more often than not that influencers are banalema. Liars. And realistically, like I get that you're looking for the bag.
Yeah.
But it will come. If we found you the first time,
we'll
find you again, because it's not just one. I think people think like it's just one agency that does influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Every single agency that you can think of that's like top 5, top 10, top 20, even top 50
is doing influencer marketing. And then not only that, brands themselves
100%.
Are now doing influencer marketing themselves.
Exactly.
So that's how you're finding that people are getting found by just being authentically themselves. If you've always been using a certain lotion and the brand has been seeing you tagging, they're going to go to the agency and say, Kibatla Afrika, boy, because for years she's been tagging us. She's just always been.
100%.
And they're going to send you a thing. So if we found you before, we will find you. And I know that, but I think you said an important thing now, Hore. Now is the best time.
100%.
Now is the best time. Like I mentioned to everybody, Hore, we are now in a creator economy. It's not the same before where it was like, the room was just so small and, the gatekeeping is not as bad as before. Like we're saying, Hore, as many agencies as you can think of, they are doing it.
Yes.
They are doing influencer marketing. So just keep at it. Know your why.
100%.
And be for real. Don't try to do it and don't try to advance. La chelete, you heard so and so got paid 10,000. Because recent influencer dinale. Maka. Liars. 10,000 and 2,000.
Yes. And
so
also,
now they're trying to like,
you're
go
onto
ahead.
something.
Go ahead.
You just reminded me of something.
Ahead.
I just realized that a lot of influencers lie to each other. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they don't want people to know how much they really earn. But I've seen a few of y'all on the internet telling these people that we gave you something that we didn't
give you.
Like, it's okay. Just rather say you don't want to share how much you're making, but stop lying to people, because then you create this false expectation on the market.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That you inflate the rate so much.
So badly.
That people come to us with their rate cards and their analytics don't match the numbers. So,
because when you said you got paid 8,000
rand. And I think that's another thing that's a problem right now, is that people don't realize that we have to understand why we're paying you 100,000. Okay? So if we're going to pay you 100,000, then the numbers must indicate so that when we ask for post-performance, then the numbers are numbering, it makes sense.
Because remember, there's a thing called ROI.
And to give return on investment.
So now, when I say, I'll fight for you, right? If I know you, I'll fight for you. I'll be like, nah, we're paying Africa 50,000.
Yeah.
The brand is going to be like, oh, sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Why? Because I know that the return on investment, I know she's going to engage with the people. She's going to be on time. She's going to be consistent. She's going to multiply it. She's going to this. She's going to that. She's going to bring back the investment for the brand.
100%.
Now, when you come and you can't even answer the question, what is your engagement rate?
Because you don't even know your own stats and you want 100,000. Yeah, no, it's annoying. I think it's that. I think also just a PSA, to anybody who wants to get into the space, really research what the space is about, right? So that when you are even pricing, you know where you fit in.
Yeah.
Because I promise you now, more often than not, people are getting rejected from brand lists because it's not realistic. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And just because one brand paid you 100,000 doesn't mean the other brand is also going to pay you 100,000. It must make sense. The combos must communicate, and they usually don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. And people will constantly be asking you, hey, where the campaigns at? I'm like, where the content at?
Where the content at?
Where the engagement at?
Do you understand?
Where the consistency at? Where the lighting at?
Where the lighting at?
Where the respect at?
Yeah.
You all are so quick to respond to negative comments.
Yeah.
Can you please just what are some of the mistakes? Okay, we spoke about plenty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mistakes before, mistakes during, and mistakes after. That will get you really, really just out of that, the cycle or the circle of getting content campaigns.
So I think, before for me, it's that there is an expectation that influencers have. Like they feel obligated, not even obligated, but they feel like
entitled.
Entitled, that's the word. Oh, thank you. I think a lot of people feel entitled to a certain amount, and the influencer space is a very tight-knit community also.
Yeah.
So you'll find that there's friendship groups that we've put in campaigns together, and because this one is earning this much, this one will tell this one how much they make. That's the first mistake. We're not dealing. You guys are not the same people.
Yeah.
So I think people need to be conscious of that. So if you're invited onto a campaign and your homie is also invited and they're getting more money than you, you must understand why.
Just relax.
This is work. Just like how in an office environment, there are some animals that are more equal than others, like Animal Farm.
I get
So just be okay with what you're
where
getting.
you are.
Yeah, and you'll see that over time, the more you just play in the game, you will get to that point where you can now start making requests about how much you want to make.
Yeah.
Because you've added value into the craft, right? So that would be the first thing. And then during the campaign, I think it's not adhering to deadlines.
Yeah.
I can't
deadlines.
I know being a creative is difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
We get it.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it because most people who are campaign managers, funny enough, they are in the creative space somehow.
Yeah.
Right. So we get it. It's hard to adhere to a deadline, but you signed a contract.
You
Make sure that
agreed.
you agreed. Stick to the contract. It's really not that deep.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that would be inside the campaign. And then afterwards, I don't get enough influencers asking how they did in terms of metrics.
Oh, that's deep.
People don't ask.
Yeah, they just move on.
They just move on. Yeah. And that's information that's valuable to your business.
Extremely.
Right? Is brand happy with this content? What does brand think of this content? And that's how I think also just in relation to long-term contracts, people who come back and ask, I think I'm more comfortable referring them to brand afterwards and saying, hey, I think this person would be a great fit for a long-term contract because they're at least interested in how to
They're investing in the craft.
They're investing in the craft.
Yeah.
And influencer marketing it's not you don't just get into the space and know what's going on. There's a whole business outside of you that needs to function. So I don't know if I'm making sense, but So there's a business outside of you that needs to function. So I think it's just that people just need to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
That it's not just you, the poster. That's the last thing.
Ish.
Brand, the agency, people involved, strat, all of those people.
Social media, community management,
there's
the ads.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole business going on, contingent on you doing what you're supposed to do. You're a part of it.
Yeah.
So I think those are the few things.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered so much, but I feels like we need a part 2 as well.
100%.
I guess we'll just invite you to the academy.
I know this.
That will be launching soon.
Hit me up.
So no, but I think that covers everything. I think my last question would be, where do you see the industry or the space or the creator economy in about, I mean, we don't want to say 5 years because what do you mean?
What do
We
you
were
mean
like,
5
I see
years?
myself in 5 years. Ka 5 years, pandemic.
You know.
So in about a year or two, maybe
Yeah.
2 to 3 years.
I think, I actually find, I think the space is still so dope.
Yeah.
I think in the next 2 years, AI is going to do something
Quite intense.
Yeah. And not even, I think people usually focus on the negatives. And again, I'm one who, I play on both sides, right?
Yeah.
But I think in the next 2 years, AI and the creator economy will make it easier for people to have time freedom.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the influencer space represents for people post-COVID, post-pandemic, is that people actually just want control of their time.
Yeah.
And I think that in the next 2 years, people would have come to the point where they can utilize automation and AI to really leverage their skill set in the content space. And I think because of that, on a global spectrum, I think there's so much going on that brands, like not even just brands, but businesses are really hyper-focused on selling more on social media.
Yeah.
So not just influencers like selling to you and saying, okay, this is this product, you should try it. No, but I think platforms are also integrating like TikTok Shop and all of those different things that are happening. They're integrating product into everything that you're doing on a social basis. So I think the influencer space is a great space to be in if you want to grow. It also allows you time freedom. It allows you just to, just be who you are behind closed doors and just explore who you are as a creator. So I think it's going to grow massively.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really, really love that. It's going to grow, and with it growing, it's going to create a lot of opportunities for people. But please don't quit your job just yet. Just hang in there, push on, and just try to find a balance first. Because if you quit first and then you're gonna come and you're gonna be on us, where are the campaigns at? Like the campaigns are here.
They're here.
So are the other influencers. So now it's gonna be tricky. Thank you so much.
Oh, anytime.
I loved this. I loved it. I've got a quick fire before we wrap up.
Cool.
So this is campaign management side. Ne?
Gotcha.
What is the weirdest DM that you've ever received?
Where's my money? It's not, and you know what? It happens more often than not. Like, and also people, side note.
Yeah.
I just like to preface what I'm about to say. You're working with businesses.
Right.
Sometimes agencies have clauses. You will get paid 45
Hello.
days, 60 days.
Okay.
And it's usually in your contract. But had you read it, you would know. Right? So those DMs they come from people who I know for a fact didn't read when I said 45 days is when you'll get your money.
And not 45 days from when you and I started talking.
From when you posted the content,
oh my goodness,
or when the campaign went
ended,
live.
Or when the campaign ended.
Sometimes,
you have to read. Because also, like we're saying, because you're working with a business. Now, here, let me say this also. I'm not talking about definitely like the people that you have to chase and now it's been 45 days. And or they are saying, I'm not talking about those handful of situations where they really need to run you your check. No, not those situations. In general, make sure, ask the question. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, pause this video, go back to the other one, come back to this one. 100%. Thank you. But if you're not sure, ask in the very beginning. So, Africa, when do I get paid? Then I say to you, you're only going to get paid 45 days after the campaign, or 45 days from the day that you post. But now remember, sometimes you post, or 45 days from the month that you posted. So now your post goes live, you post on the 7th.
Yeah.
Payments get done when? On the 30th. Then potentially, I'm not saying all the time, potentially 45 days, like and then they need to pay us they need to get paid, then they pay us, then
Yeah.
So just ask. Rather ask, then you at least know. Then you can plan ahead, because then now we start to have those issues where a person posts today and then where's my money? Where's my money is crazy.
No. And
Where's my money
you'd
is
be
crazy, because I'm just like, your money is
surprised.
in the bank of the client. I don't know what you want me to say.
And also, how na personally?
Nah.
No regrets. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I wonder y'all are gonna catch us in these streets.
Do you know
Guys,
what I'm
and if you catch me in the streets, please
And
be nice to me.
respectfully, like, guys, please, I'm just a girl, hey?
Respectfully.
And also, just remember, I'm also hired.
Also.
Ki hirilwe mona.
Yeah. And if you didn't ask me, it becomes difficult, because then now it seems as if I'm like holding on to your money, or I don't get that you've got rent to pay. I get it, because I got rent to pay.
Yeah.
Because remember, if the client doesn't pay us, potentially maybe Lina Bakasim, but like, so it's a lot of interesting different things that can play a factor in that. Yeah.
100%.
Where's my money is crazy business.
They stay sending that.
That's just that's so
They stay sending
hectic.
You would be surprised. Actually, you wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be surprised,
I
because
wouldn't be
you
shocked at all,
know
'cause
these people are crazy.
I'd just be like, because usually where we used to work, we just refer them. We're like, so if you just check there by the terms and conditions, there where you clicked
100%.
accept, I confirm.
confirm.
Ichilo, yare 45 days from the last day of the month, what. So read that stuff. If you're not sure, if you're like, it says 45 days, is that 45 days from now? Then at least you have the context, because then we're not having this conversation.
Yeah.
Then for real, not that you should DM me, where's my money, but you do have, then you can come to me and be like, it's been 45 days, what's the story, what's happening? Then we're going to have those conversations about, listen, the bank pays us, then it needs 2 days to reflect, or whatever it is. But then at least you have that context.
Yeah, and also, like, side note, sometimes you don't even need a lawyer. Just go to ChatGPT and put your contract in ChatGPT
And say,
explain this to me
like
as
I'm
a
5.
5-year-old.
Draw me a picture. Kupa diagram.
Kupa diagram.
Post
And then-
6th of July. Paid 8th of August.
And there
then
we
at
go.
least you have an answer.
Yeah.
You can come back to me and be like, it says I'm going to be paid on the 8th of August. Can you guys neither confirm or deny? Then we're going to be like, actually, it's going to be not the 8th of August, but August the 31st, based on month end, whatever. Then you
Facts.
have the context.
100%.
Because where's my money is crazy. I just cannot. Okay. If you could only create for one platform, what platform would it be?
TikTok, without a shadow of a doubt.
Why?
I think short form content is the craziest content. Like, it's so dope.
It's so dope.
It's so
Where
dope.
were we before
Where
it?
were we before TikTok?
Yeah.
And I think,
Well, we were on Facebook,
well,
to be quite honest.
I'm not that old, child.
And who's that old? No. Who's that old?
I'm still a young
Eh,
girl.
that's fine. Who is that old?
Yeah, I'm still a young girl. No, but I think TikTok, mama. TikTok for me is quite crazy because it's so cool to
Yeah,
see
it
that
is.
you can just create content now.
Right now. And people see it
Just
now and talk
now.
about it now.
Yeah, and
that's really dope.
Yeah, it's not like the other platforms. Instagram and Anubu stalker-ish.
How old?
It's
And
so
the pressure is
weird.
still a disantandili thing.
Yeah.
And
And I
Big
think
Brother Nyana, I'm listening, I'm watching.
it's because all of our friends and the people we grew up with and all of them, we treated Instagram like Facebook.
Right.
So you have that imposter syndrome because everybody's watching you from
Yeah.
your real life. But
Yeah.
when you're on TikTok,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, I don't really care because it's like a whole world of different
Yeah.
people. I don't know, it just feels different.
Yeah.
It would be TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I get that. What's one brand that you would love to work with?
Red Bull.
Why?
That's my favorite
You
brand.
said that so quickly.
Oh, Red Bull.
Red Bull batsong refoneleng.
Red Bull, Red Bull for me is the coolest brand
Okay.
on earth.
Okay.
So I think, and here's why. This
Okay.
is just me, right?
This
I
is
think
so interesting.
it's so crazy how Red Bull is an energy drink,
Yeah.
but as a company, they're in sports, they're
Yeah.
in racing. There's Red Bull TV, which is my favorite thing to watch.
Crazy.
I know I'm not really a sports person like that, which is
But you're in there.
weird, but
Yeah.
that's the content that's on Red Bull TV. But I love Red Bull TV because it highlights how a brand can be one thing, but so many different things in different places of the world.
Yeah.
And I think that they know how to diversify. They're very tapped into the culture.
Yeah.
Look, Red Bull Symphonic was this weekend.
sure.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
So there's music,
see
there's
it.
like sports, and it's just
I
so
get
cool as a
it.
brand. Now, personally, Red Bull, hit me up.
So if you've made it this far in the video, tag Red Bull in the
Red Bull,
comments.
tag
and
Red Bull.
Red Bull getting info@influencer sister kitla le kopanya le yena.
Thank you so much. I
.co.za.
can do so much for your
I
business.
believe it.
Thank you.
Like just holistically, from campaign management to creation
to creation
to
man. Actually, marketing manager at Red Bull, that guy, he knows who he is. Listen, hi.
Hello.
I can.
Dala.
Thank you.
Last one. If your content style had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Ooh, okay. What
the
question? A theme song. Sure.
And it's coming from a musician.
Yeah, and I musician.
Yeah.
What would my my content creation theme song? Oh, do you know what's funny? It would be. It's not really is it a theme song? You know, remember that show?
It doesn't have to be a theme song. A song can be. But go ahead, tell me about the theme song.
I was gonna talk about the show with Brandy. Moesha.
Okay.
Like, you know, that diary theme song. I think it's just a diary into my life.
It's an alibo taina nyana, so
100% Kopali queuing more. Yeah.
I see. I love that. But if you had to just any song.
Any song. It would be mine.
Let's go.
It would be Toro.
Yeah.
By me.
Okay.
Stream my music.
Link in the description.
Thanks.
Hello. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. I had so much fun.
Time flies.
Time flies when you
Time
have fun.
really does fly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I trust and I believe that the peeps, the conversators, somebody said to me the other day, hello conversator. I thought that was so cheesy.
And you know
but
what?
I might just start, hey conversators. Okay, because why not? We're on YouTube. Don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe on YouTube. Please let us subscribe on YouTube. I hope that all the conversators are going to go and make conversation with what we were talking about today and that they have learned. If there are any questions, please don't forget to just comment them, send us an email, send us a DM. If you want to get a hold of us, if you have any questions. But otherwise, that has been this week's episode. Thank you so much. Thank you to the team behind the scenes. I will never forget to thank the team behind the scenes. So thank you so much. And we will catch you next time. Bye.